Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Kamar Yellis, the Finance Rebel. Welcome to the Finance Rebel Show. And as y'all know, today is Saturday. So on Saturday, we have our Wealthy Conversation segment. Today, I'm blessed and honored to have two lovely ladies here who are doing some great and phenomenal things. Listen, get your notepad, get your pencil, get your pen, whatever you need to get. You need to take some notes because they're doing some awesome things. So I have Talisha and Cherie from the 10K Project. And what they're doing is they're creating a platform to help raise money for Black-owned businesses. And if anybody knows anything about the Black community and our struggles, one of our biggest struggles is access to capital. However, the Black community spends roughly anywhere between 1.2 and $1.4 trillion a year in the United States. So now we're talking about how to figure out, now we're trying to figure out how to focus that money so we can create wealth for ourselves and our families through Black business ownership. So hello, ladies. How are you today?
Great. Thank you.
Good. Well, thank you for joining me. Again, I'm honored that you're here. I know when Talisha first told me about the project, I was jealous, just being honest, right? Because, and jealous in a good way, not jealous in a backstabbing way, like, man, I should have thought of that idea. That idea is awesome. So I'm really proud to have you, and I'm really excited about the work you all are doing.
Thank you.
Where did this idea come from? The 10K Project. Who came up with that idea?
So it started with me. So hello, everyone. My name is Cherie. I'm the CEO of the 10K Project. And how did it get started? Well, it started about 3 years ago. So for the past decade, I've been a business plan writer. And I write business plans for all sorts of people, different ethnicity, entrepreneurs, different amounts of money that's needed. And I would have people come to me and they would say, Cherie, I need this business plan written. And I would say, great. Once we write the business plan, where are you going to take it? Who are you going to ask for money from? People from other ethnicities would usually have the aunt, the fraternity brother, the venture capitalist that they've known for 12 years. And they would take my business plans and they would raise the money that was needed. People from our community typically did not have those individuals in their lives that could write a $250,000 check for them like that, right? I also began to notice the We Buy Black movement and, how starting about 2014, how many Black people really wanted to start buying Black and actively buying Black. And I started asking, if we buy Black, maybe we would invest Black too. So for the past 3 years, I've been saying to my group of co-founders, as well as another organization that I belong to, if 10,000 of us got together, we put in $100 each, that's $1 million. We could start funding our own businesses and we could profit as a people. We could turn one of our greatest detriments to one of our greatest assets, because not only would the entrepreneurs receive funding, but the investors could participate in a greater upside. We could begin owning businesses, more businesses in our communities, etc. But Kamari, you'll laugh at this. I was like you. I was giving this idea away. I'm like, somebody else do it, please. I wish somebody would do it. And I'm saying it. And finally in a meeting, Tawana, one of our other co-founders who's not here today, says, when are you going to do something about that? And I said, there's no way I could do this by myself. And the other co-founder said, well, we'll do it with you. So we put some money together. We started doing focus groups of entrepreneurs and investors, and we got an overwhelming yes. This is what's needed in the community. So we launched on May 22nd, and here we are.
Wow. Congratulations. Mm-hmm. So the first question I got to ask, why 10,000? Why not 1,000? Why not 100? Why not 100,000? I mean, there's approximately 40 million Black folks in the United States right now. So why 10,000?
Well, it was not so much about the 10,000 as it was about the $100. When the founders and I got together, one of the things that we wanted to do was make this affordable for everyone. And we know that $100, for example, for me, $100 is what I'd spend on a pair of shoes. It's what I would spend, at dinner with a friend and I having dinner or something like that. So it really is that disposable income. And it also helps everybody get involved. So the affordability factor was really what drew us to it. And as far as the 10,000 is concerned, and I'm glad you asked about that, we believe that the 10K project will grow to 1 million people within the next couple of years, 1 million people in our ecosystem. And still, that's 2.5% of the Black population. I believe it takes a mighty few of us to make a big impact. Not everybody's going to come on board with us. We understand that. But let's be a part of this central group, this mighty few, that all of a sudden has a ripple effect on the entire community. So that's where that comes from.
Okay. Okay. So where did you get 1 million from? How are you going to do that? Is that a projection? Because I know you got all the, and don't take this with no offense, all the serious Black nerds that back you, all the smart folks. So is that based on some kind of projection or just?
So actually, it's based on SEC law. So the Securities and Exchange Commission allows any company to raise up to $1,070,000.
Okay.
That doesn't mean that on the platform you can't raise less. In fact, on our platform, the minimum amount that an entrepreneur can raise is $10,000, all the way up to $1,070,000. And not all businesses need $1 million.
Right.
Some businesses may need $100,000 or $50,000 in order to make whatever milestone they're looking to do. So that's perfectly fine too. But it's more catchy, 10K project, $1 million. So
listen, marketing is everything.
It is.
The problem I often have is, I always go back and forth and say, am I a hater? Am I not a hater? You see these people that put out things that it's all fluff, or as some would say, it's all sizzle with no steak. There's really no substance behind it. But you all have substance behind it. I mean, I've had conversations with a couple of your team members, and it's very well thought out. So I'm very impressed. But all right, so the goal is to get to 1 million people on the platform. You're coming in under the new government regulation. I want to say it's either Reg A or Reg D.
It's actually Reg CF.
Reg C. Okay.
Reg CF. Yes.
I get them all confused. It's like
it's okay.
And so you've already launched. So who is the ideal business that you're looking for?
Talisha, I'll let you answer that.
Again, we're looking for innovative companies. And I think
wait a minute, Talisha. Wait a minute, Ms. Shine. You got to tell everybody who you are now.
Of course. She asked me a question. I am Talisha Shine. I am the CTO of the Black 10K Project. So that's where I fit in. I am the tech behind the business. So
okay. And CTO is Chief Tech Officer, right?
Yes, sir. I am.
Okay.
So I make all the stuff run in the background. But I said beyond that part is the business. And as we talk about business, we talk about innovation. And technology is always synonymous, but that doesn't always mean, I think, that it has to be a tech product. We're not trying to build the next whatever tech gadget. It could be a whole host of things. Innovation just means that you're looking for efficiencies and to do things differently and give more of a benefit and a value add to your customer base. So that's what we're kind of looking for with regard to that. And individuals can be at different stages within that, their business. So they can be actually startups, people with truly an idea and come to us and say, hey, I had this wonderful idea. I just need to make an MVP. And then it also could go to individuals who have established businesses and are now trying to scale. Because that's another part of not access to capital is that if you're kind of just maxing out your credit card just to keep the doors open, you never get to that next level. And we're here to actually not only get you to that next level, but to actually help you thrive within that community.
Now, I got to stop you for a minute because you threw out a term that I don't think everybody is familiar with.
Okay.
You said MVP. I know what that means, but I'm not sure that everybody in the audience knows what that means. So can you?
Sorry. Yes, MVP is minimal viable product. So it's just to kind of showcase what your idea is in a tangible format. So you're not going to have every bell and whistle that you have. I think always, if you go back and look at Amazon's very first page, it looks pitiful. It was the most simplistic HTML you would ever want to see. And now compare and contrast to how many years later, it has everything that you could possibly want, even AI in the background. But when you want to start something, you want to start it at the basic things that it absolutely needs to have in order to show people what the possibilities could be.
Right. And I just want to piggyback off of Talisha and what she's saying. So we are going to have, right now, when we start, we're going to have an Entrepreneur of the Week. So one week you may see a tech product. The next week you may see someone doing a real estate deal. The following week, you may see someone doing assisted living. You know, we had somebody talk to us about doing something around kidney dialysis. You know, there's going to be a wide array of options and opportunities and industries. We are talking within the 10K project and the group of members we have thus far about the supply chain, and looking at certain businesses that will fill in certain aspects of the supply chain, whether it's through agriculture or through my hair, you know, for example, or anything like that. So there's going to be a wide range of businesses, of industries, and like Talisha said, of some people will be startups and some people will be growing. Some people may have, you know, a business that's been around for 10 years, but now they want to get into government contracts, and they need some money in order to help with that. Or they may have a product and now they want to get it on the shelves of Walmart and Target. How do they do that? They're going to need money for that. So I just wanted to make sure that people kind of understood when we say innovative, that we definitely mean, and Talisha said this, beyond the tech industry.
So basically, if I sell a great bottle of water and I make a great fried chicken sandwich, that platform's not for me.
Possibly. So what I would ask, if let's take the fried chicken sandwich, is this a scalable business? Why? Number one, why is it innovative?
Well, I gotta stop you real quick. Don't mean to cut you off, but
that's okay.
I see a lot of people use the word scalable.
Uh-huh.
They don't know what it means. I know you know what it means. But
Yes.
can you just break it down to the audience?
Sure. It means your ability to grow exponentially or large or big. So when we say scalable, somebody that has just a one location restaurant is not innovative and it's not scalable. We're looking for somebody who's able to create Popeyes, KFC, you know, that type of either franchise or multiple location area. Scalable could be in any type of industry as well, but we have a responsibility to the investors coming on the platform, and the way that investors get their money back is through scalable businesses. So we're looking for teams and for business ideas that can create scalable businesses so that when the community gives you $1, you're able to grow it to $10, $20, $50. And provide that return on investment to the investors that have put money into your business.
Right. Gotcha. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to be able to scale my fried chicken,
Mm-hmm.
which basically means I need a lot of processes, documented processes, almost like you said, a Popeyes or a McDonald's is the really famous one for process management. And so I need to be able to figure that out. It's a dumb question. It's a rhetorical question, but do we have a lot of those businesses in our community?
Go ahead.
Yes, I would say we absolutely do. Unfortunately, this is where capital becomes the inhibitor. You have a great idea and you can only do it on your local level. And what happens is we're not able to get to the VCs to show them that this is a viable aspect, even if it is a commercial business such as food industry. That's a tricky area in which to, you know, grow and scale, but also to be funded because most restaurants fail. So you have, you know, all these incumbent things kind of coming together. But if you do have a novel idea, we're seeing, you know, smoothie shops and vegan restaurants, and you see the Slutty Vegan in Atlanta doing amazing things and starting out very small, but scaling very quickly. So we do have the ability to have this. It's just, again, you have to have resources and the network in which to be able to sustain your business.
And I want to piggyback off of what Talisha said, because I wanted to make sure she was going to include this. She said the network. So the reason why I was hesitant to answer your question is because I think I, as a business plan writer, have experienced a lot of people with great dreams. And they have the great dreams. They understand that the capital is important, but the other side of what's important is the team that you're building. And somebody referred to it as super teams. This woman named Erica that I know. We have to, as a Black community and as Black business owners, build super teams of people. So let's go back to your fried chicken sandwich. A lot of times people they have a great fried chicken sandwich idea, but they don't think to hire the restaurant professional that can write out all the processes, that can train the employees to do things in the exact same way to scale up to a McDonald's, which is one of the other reasons why the 10K project is so unique and important, is because we have something called business support after funding as well. So anybody from accountants, attorneys, those project managers, product managers, the operations people that can take your fried chicken sandwich and operationalize the whole business and help you scale across the nation, those people are needed as well in order for you to be successful. So I don't want to make it just sound like it's just capital that's needed. It's capital plus strategy plus people. And that's where the 10K project is so unique. The other thing is that a lot of times it's marketing that people just don't know enough about that product, right? The Slutty Vegan has done well because they've had a lot of press. Even so, I'm in the Maryland area. Talisha's in the Virginia area. We've heard of the Slutty Vegan because of a lot of the press that they've had. They've done great with their marketing. Our people also need to get the word out, and having an ecosystem like the 10K project will let consumers know that, hey, this is coming out. Look out for it in your local neighborhood, buy, online, things like that. So.
Right. Shout out to the Slutty Vegan. I think they're up to either 3 or 4 locations now.
Mm-hmm.
I just saw like all the Black Atlanta superstars and entrepreneurs brought out the restaurant. I believe it was Ludacris and several others that brought out. So they definitely have figured out marketing.
Yes.
They definitely have figured out PR, and businesses that you're calling that are innovative definitely will need to have that expertise on board as well.
Yes.
So that makes sense.
Yes.
That makes a lot of sense.
And people from within the community can be that business support. So if you are an investor, you can also be a CPA to certain companies, or an attorney, or the social media marketer, or things like that. And we believe in Dr. Claude Anderson's Powernomics, where now all of a sudden, instead of the dollar, staying in the community for 8 hours, how much longer can the dollar stay in the community?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. I do think more people have to realize how important Black businesses are to our community and to our overall health as a community. Everything from jobs to social engagement to just better products. So I hope y'all can go find somebody that we can dominate the hair care product process, because we are absolutely being, what's the word I want to use here? I'm trying to be PC.
Yes, please be PC.
Yeah, we are being exploited and abused at a phenomenal level, and it's very sad. So I hope we can get together some folks and actually take the industry over. But what's the requirements for someone to get on the platform?
So we are going to be publishing on October 27th, actually. We're going to be publishing all the requirements for somebody to be on the platform. We can tell you a couple of the requirements now. Is number one, anybody who owns more than 20% of a company has to submit information to the Securities and Exchange Commission as well. So this is not something where you get up, on Saturday and by Monday you're on the platform. It doesn't work like that. The SEC also requires you to have a business plan. And depending on how much money you're raising, you may also have to have audited financials.
Right.
Again, these are government requirements. We will also have other requirements for our platform, but one thing that's not wavering is we're looking for Black businesses, Black-owned businesses. So that's where we're very different from all of the other platforms that are out there.
And how are we defining Black owned? Is it 51% or more? Is it
We have a number in mind. We are going through legal counsel right now in order to flush that out and make sure that it is, the legalities are there. Let's just say that. But that'll be released on October 27th.
October 27th? All right. So
Mhm.
I'm getting in
Yeah,
early.
we're gonna do like a big, here are all the requirements, here's what you have to do, etc. I can't tell you something else though, Kamari, is one of the things we have decided to do. So in our focus groups, we heard from people who tried to get on other crowdfunding platforms that there was very little support and help and understanding of if they were not allowed to get on the crowdfunding platform, why not, right? So one of the things we decided to do is kind of create an approach where there's education for entrepreneurs in terms of how to put your business plan together and resources for developing your financials and things like that, so that people are able to get the additional support and education that they need in order to be eligible to be on the platform. So we will have additional hand holding that the traditional crowdfunding, whether it's WeFunder or any of those other places out there, we will have additional hand holding that our counterparts don't have.
Okay. Okay. So it almost seems like you are not just a crowdfunding platform like a WeFunder, but you're adding in some of the benefits of a VC firm with the
Mhm.
technical support as well. And VC
Yes.
firm, everybody that's watching, the venture capital firm, that's
Mhm.
one of the more popular terms that floats around out there these days, where it's just basically a holding company that raises money from investors and they find prospective companies to invest in. So
Right. And
Facebook,
actually, WeFunder is even turning more into a VC firm in the past several years. So, yes, so that is one of the trends that's happening in the industry too.
well, they're the biggest out there right now, right? I believe. Okay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
how will the 10K project differentiate itself from a WeFunder and some of the other platforms that are out there?
Well, the biggest reason is we are we have Black entrepreneurs, all Black entrepreneurs, so that's like one of the biggest ways. And the other thing that we do is we're building an ecosystem as well. So again, it's the investors who are mostly Black who get to participate. You get to participate for as little as $100 per investment, which on WeFunder, the entrepreneur gets to decide, no, my company, you have to put in $1,000 to get in, or $700 or $500 to get in. Well, suppose you only have 200, then you're locked out, right? So that's a big thing. And then the other side of it is that business support after funding. If you're a CPA, if you're a digital marketer, if you help companies get on the shelves of Walmart and Target, you're a graphic designer, you're a writer, you get to participate after these companies raise money. You get to participate in helping them grow. As long as you have the skills and the expertise, please, I tell people, do not play with the community's money. All right. But if you have the skills and the expertise, and maybe it's a side hustle that you do, or maybe it's a primary business, or maybe you're transitioning, this is also an opportunity as well. So I think that we have several things that we offer that a WeFunder and our other counterparts don't.
I would say one of the things that I would add is our preparatory education for both the entrepreneur and the investor. That in itself is a really different and a strong value add for our clients. So it really doesn't even impact us in this sense, because that's something that we have to give just to make sure that you're viable and you understand how the platform works to be productive for you, not even for just us. So the education for the investor, telling them how to actually make sound investments, how to do due diligence. Most people don't even know what those terms mean, especially if they're not even an investor. So how do you evaluate somewhere to put your money? How do you even know how much money you should put in? All of those things kind of come through an education process by just participating in the environment. They don't have to even invest. They can just come and be, kind of learned before they even make that decision. And as for the entrepreneur, the same thing. If you're not all the way there yet, which a lot of people, they concentrate on their business, and sometimes they're in their business instead of working on their business. At this point, you need somebody to help you with that. And that's where we give you that ancillary support.
So here's the $1 million question, right? We're talking about money. It always takes money to run things, right? So if you have an entrepreneur, right, who's coming to put their business on a platform to potentially get investments from the community that is backing the platform, and they're not there yet, how much time will you help them get up to speed? Because that's going to take time, right?
Yes.
Yes. So the way that we've set it up, the entrepreneur gets an infinite amount of time to prepare. Okay. And what do we mean by that? So once an entrepreneur decides that they want to be considered as an entrepreneur on the platform, you pay a small fee. We're still deciding on what that amount is, but it's really small, right? And you get into what's called our Entrepreneur Knowledge Center. And in that, you'll take courses that help you know how to do market research, learn how to create your business model. Is it a scalable business model? How do you evaluate if it's a scalable business model? All sorts of lessons you learn. And as you are learning these things, you're creating the building blocks to write your business plan. And again, the business plan is required by the Securities and Exchange Commission. Whether or not you're on our platform or any platform, you have to have a business plan in order to do crowdfunding. But one of the better things that it will allow you to do is determine if that business is something that you really want to be in anyway. So you have an infinite amount of time. It's like lifetime access to these modules that help you write your business plan. And then only after you decide, hey, I have a great business, I really know that this is something that I want to do. At that point, the clock actually starts when you say, okay, I want to be on, I want to actually raise money, right? Once you tell us that, there'll be some other application and things that you have to do. And then once we approve you, that's when the time will start. Again, October 27th, we will have all of that broken down for you. Right now, we are going through legal in order to really just make sure that it works operationally and through legalities. So October 27th, but you can join now no matter what. So join the 10K project.
Okay. And I'm assuming your models will be very similar to a WeFunder where you get a percentage of each one of the deals, correct?
Yes. So the way that it will work is we will get a percentage of the raise. We will also have an application fee for people that want to apply. And we'll have a very small percentage of the company that we will require as well, or request, and it'll be a part of the contract. All of that in terms of these specific amounts are going to come out on October 27th.
No, I got you. I
just want to make sure everyone knew that.
Yeah. No, we got that.
Yeah, so, that October 27th date is what the entrepreneur is going to be looking at.
That date.
But I wanted to talk about that because it's important that this is sustainable and people know it's sustainable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we have to have a business model that is sustainable because what we're looking at is helping our businesses raise $1 billion a year. And by doing that, we're hiring an economist and a financial modeler right now to talk about when we raise $1 billion a year over a 10-year period, and we have a certain number of investors and a certain number of businesses, how many jobs are going to be created? What's the ripple effect going to be in the Black community? I think that people are going to be surprised, what kind of return on investment could be expected, things like that. How do we help the individual family? How do we help your cities, whether you're in Philadelphia or Nashville or Miami? And then how do we help the community at large actually close the wealth gap? That's a bigger thing. So yes, we do have to have money to operate. However, I believe you will find that we charge pretty much the same amount as other platforms and give you infinitely more, and it's culturally relevant as well, the information that we're giving. And now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't wear hoodies or anything like that. Like that's so sometimes when I say culturally relevant, people will think that I mean derogatory things. No, I just mean some of the examples that we use, that we understand, our way of speaking, things like that, and some of the things that may benefit us or affect us because we're Black business owners. So
I mean, I got it. I was going to ask the follow-up question for the audience, but I got it. You might use an Annie Malone or a Madam
C.J. Walker, yes,
in a slide deck versus using someone from L'Oreal.
Yes.
Yes. I've seen white folks on everything, especially stuff we do. I get it.
Yes.
I totally get it.
Yes. So, the different types of businesses and the different problems maybe that we'll solve in the community, and then also some of the bigger things. So Talisha brought a great example to us. A Black woman started a company called Zoox, which does autonomous driving for taxis, and they were just sold to Amazon for $1.2 billion.
Yep.
And subsequent to that, Amazon came out and said that they were going to offer, I think like $100 million in stock or something like that to Zoox employees as well. Well, that's a celebration, number one, for that Black female entrepreneur, but also I would imagine there's probably a sizable number of Black people that are hired within that company that are working, whether they're doing operation stuff or other types of things. This is a celebration. And then imagine all of those families that are positively affected because of that. And imagine if we were the ones who initially put the money into her and her business, where we would be as, regular people putting in a couple of $100s each.
So everybody knows I love the stock market, and every time there's an IPO or an initial public offering, I always get the calls. Should I invest in this? Should I invest in this? And I always tell people I hate IPOs for individual investors because usually you're not getting the best possible deal.
Yeah, the money's already made.
Deals are in early stage, like what you're talking about. Facebook, the people that made the most money on Facebook didn't buy during the IPO. They bought years and years and years before, early on when Zuckerberg was building it out. So this platform will give our community the opportunity to do that. So I think that's great. But I got to ask the big question, because that's time and time again, because I've done some of this stuff before. How are you going to deal with people that want to do early redemptions?
So a part of that is the SEC has some laws and rules and regulations. So one of the biggest things that we'll do is we'll educate people before you invest of what the early redemption options are and are not.
And let me just say this, early redemption means when can I get my money back?
Right.
Because there's a time period.
Yes.
I can't think of the term off the top of my head right now. There's a lockup period. So you might not be able to get your money back for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whatever it may be.
Yes.
But historically, I've always seen people want their money back early.
Right.
And it's not synonymous to the Black community. It happens with a lot of people.
Sure. Yeah. So the first thing is letting people know that any money you put in should not be rent, mortgage, emergency fund money, et cetera, which is why we have investor education and financial literacy in as part of what we're providing. Beyond that, we will give people like information with regards to when they will be able to sell their shares, how they would be able to sell their shares. We're looking at a couple of different options that we're not ready to release yet, but those will be coming in the next couple of years. But the big thing is, how do people get their money back, period? And I think we should talk about that. So there are three primary ways you can get your money back. Number one is an IPO, which Kamari talked about, right? Number two is the company is sold, which we've talked about as well. The third one is something that's called dividends. And all that means is you have a company that does well. They have cash in the bank. They take a certain amount of that cash and they say, we're going to distribute this to our investors. What will happen before you invest is there will be a live pitch. It'll be like a Shark Tank style pitch. The entrepreneur will come, they will talk about their business, their product, why it's scalable, who's on their team, what they're going to do with the money, how much money are they raising, and they will tell you how and when you can expect your money back. And then from there, even before putting your money in, you can gauge, hey, is this something that works with my own financial interests? So I think that that's very important. And then once you put your money in, my best suggestion to you is set it and forget it. I've been doing equity crowdfunding now for the past few years. I'm a little embarrassed to say I don't even think about the companies that I've put money in unless I get like their quarterly newsletter or things like that. I consider that money that is just, it's working for me. Let's just say that.
Right.
And we encourage the people that come on to do the same thing and to have the same attitude.
But
one other part.
always somebody that says, my grandbaby had to come stay with me.
That I'm going to tag on to that, and this is also kind of ties into innovation. We purposely have looked forward to different aspects of things, and this is something that we need to talk about from businesses as well. You not only look at what you can do today, but what you can do tomorrow. And I have selected a platform specifically that is blockchain enabled, which gives us the ability to have a secondary market at some point when the legislation and the viability of it becomes possible. Because right now we always know tech is always possible, but there's other things and structures that have to precede it. So with that, with regard to, again, how do you get your money back? If you had a secondary market, you could be able to, maneuver those shares in a different viability and have a liquidity act within your own purview, but actually have a market to do that in, and that our platform actually allows that.
So just to, again, make it plain, the secondary marketplace Talicia's referring to is that there'll be a pool of money that people can exchange shares for dollars. And I was actually going to suggest that wasn't secure. I wasn't sure if it was legal or not yet, but that was what I was.
Tokenization. The platform has it in there. Like I said, we baked that already in there to be a blockchain enabled to allow for tokenization of those assets, which would be those shares. Again, we just have to wait for the government to catch up and do what they need to do in order to enable that process.
Okay. I am thoroughly
We
impressed.
expect that to happen though, because one of the biggest companies now in the United States is Coinbase, and there's a lot of big money moving into cryptocurrency and into the blockchain. Trillions of dollars are expected to be exchanged in the next few years in that marketplace. So if the money is going into those industries, I guarantee you the lobbyists are on Capitol Hill putting the bills together. So This is not something that is far off. So
no, it's not far off. And I believe there's a couple of, I won't say crowdfunding, but there's a couple of other type funders that allow for that. Some of the other like pre-IPO banks are
there are others. They typically have closed-in secondary markets.
Right.
So they'll have private markets where two individuals could get together, the seller and the buyer, and they could say, hey, we want to buy, the shares from you for X amount of dollars. And there are mediators that help make that transaction happen.
Right.
So that is currently happening in the marketplace, but we want to make something a little bit more seamless. And that's why we're waiting on the legislation.
Okay. Well, I see there's some comments here in the comment section.
Sure. Let's hear the comments.
Let's see. So Angela says hello. Hello, hello,
Hi,
hello.
Angela.
It's Angela.
Tara says hello.
Hey.
What a great idea.
Thanks. Please become a member. The10kproject.com.
Amazing Queens.
Mhm.
Mimi Jr. says,
Hey, Mimi.
so these are y'all crew.
Yes.
Okay. Adrian George, is it similar to WeFunder? Yes, it's similar. But it's Black.
Oh, Miss Vanessa. Hello.
Hey, Vanessa.
Everybody loves Miss Vanessa.
Yes, she's awesome.
All right, so Miss Vanessa saying y'all gonna make history.
That's the plan.
She prophesizing. Y'all fortunate over there.
Because she can call it into existence. She has her wonderful business. We're coming right behind you.
So she says this is WeFunder. Better my. But my opinion is biased. Yeah. There's nothing wrong with being biased.
There's nothing wrong with that. Yes.
She's well informed. She's not biased.
Well, it's biased, but
using the information available to you. Yes.
Now people will understand how it is not easy and cost prior to being a crowdfunding platform. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the time you build something from scratch, from the ground up, it's not easy. That's why most people don't do it. So,
Right.
So this is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Miss Vanessa has more. WeFunder and Start Engine are large. Okay.
Large. Start Engine is blowing up at this point too. They have so many, interesting things going on right now with them.
Right. We would support a transfer agents licensed by the SEC once business has over 800 investors. Excellent.
Perfect.
Because that transfer agent is the piece that you'll be able to do the exchange of shares for money if you want to get out. Yep. That's what I was talking about.
Exactly. So that's why I said, because of our platform being the unaccredited investor, and we had to ensure, like I said, that we build something in there that made that viable, so that transition could be seamless, and we didn't have to kind of bring it in there at the last minute. We already knew and had the foresight to put it in now.
Right.
He's a member. Hey, ladies, awesome. I just registered and I'll be investing.
Oh,
so
thank you, Carl.
I get credit for that sale.
You
Carl,
do credit.
Carl is my best friend.
All kinds of credit.
Well, Carl's my best friend. So.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Best friend, Carl.
Yep. So, okay, ladies. Okay. So I know we're at about 45 minutes in. I don't want to keep you up on a Saturday. I know we all got kids and stuff to do and errands to run around, or just quarantine in place. But what's one thing you want to leave everybody with that they remember about the 10K project?
Talisha, you want to go first?
Sure. I would say it is a community and it requires your participation. I think everybody always thinks that, like, oh, what do I have to do? You just really have to show up. We're going to really kind of guide you through this process, and we want the company. We really want you to feel like you're a part of something, and your input is invaluable because we are building from scratch. This is a way to get your voice heard and get those little, I would love if it did this, or I would really like if it did that. This is the time, and we're really open and receptive to that. So just join us, come and see. And, if you have any questions or concerns, we are omni-channeled. We can be reached so many different ways. People reach out to us all the time, and just feel free to, to just jump in and see what you like and participate, because it's built for you.
Yeah. So Kamari, it's the10kproject.com. We don't want people to correct. It's the10kproject.com. Yes. Or weinvestblack.us. If y'all, weinvestblack.us will take you to that.
There you go.
Weinvestblack.us.
I think the big thing is, if you're anything like me, you're sick and tired of being sick and tired, right? You know that we as people are great. We're innovative. Yes, we've had historical issues. Yes, people have stolen our inventions. They've wronged us. But this is a time where we can right the ship. And I go back to what I said before about the mighty few. We would love it if all 40 million Black people got involved with the 10K project. But the truth is, it takes a mighty few in order to make a huge impact. We're most likely going to spend 6-7 figures on education of our community, on getting the right businesses up, on the platform, on pushing this movement forward. But we need your help in order to do that. And in exchange for that, we can help close the wealth gap. And your grandkids, your great grandkids could say, grandma, grandpa was there. They did this. And because of that, we're able to benefit. So I would just encourage people to come to the website, check it out, join us on our social media. Every Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern Time, we do a live Q&A session. We have other sessions that we do where we talk with people. You can send us emails. You can DM me if you need to on our Instagram page. Let us know what your questions are. We will answer them. We are transparent. And at the end of the day, if you decide that this is a movement you want to be a part of, we would love to have you because we're going to grow rapidly.
All right, ladies. Well, I appreciate you here. What I will say is, listen, folks, I don't really endorse things because there's so much chicanery and going on out in the marketplace. However, I've talked to a few members. I've been watching them for quite some time. Like I said, when Talisha first introduced the idea to me, I thought it was brilliant, and they're executing. Ideas are great, but without execution, they're nothing. These ladies are executing, and y'all all know I love Black women. If you saw some of the jokes and shenanigans I've been doing these last couple of days, especially around the entanglements.
Oh my
goodness. That in there.
Yes, you can tell that I've said, let's use the power of Black women to help our community, because Black women have always helped our community. So listen, I'm not going to tell you to invest. What I am going to tell you to do, though, is go to the 10kproject.com and research. And if you want to talk about it, I'm more than happy to talk about it with you. I will be investing, So I'm not making an endorsement for you, but I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, which to me is greater than any endorsement that you could ever have. So again, I appreciate you ladies. If there's anything I can do to help push this project along, the phone is always open, the platform is always open, and let's continue to push this forward and have a great conversation and close the Black wealth gap. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So when we release that guide, we'd love to come back and really talk to entrepreneurs about how it works and how you get on the platform. So we'll be reaching out to you, hopefully, for that. So
I'm here for it.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody who joined us.
All right, everybody. Y'all know the routine. I will be here on Wednesday, Wealthy Wednesdays, 8 p.m. So same rebel time, same rebel channel. And then next Saturday will be another Wealthy Conversation, which starts on Saturdays at noon. I am bringing on a producer and booker. So these shows are going to get even better and more dynamic. So I will see you all next week. Stay safe, stay healthy, and I will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.